Christian husband in these days, to be a Christian man. Simply put, we have to be like Christ. We have to imitate him in every chance that we get. Whether that means carrying our cross, picking it up at the most inconvenient times, whether it means going off to pray by ourselves, to commune with the Father from where our fatherhood gets its name. We have to imitate him in the way that he lived his liturgical life, going to synagogue or to the temple for the high feasts. We have to imitate him in the way that he knew Scripture. We have to imitate him in the way that he treated others. Most of all, it is in imitating him on the road of Calvary, being willing to carry our cross, no matter what the pain may be. And that's a daily task for us as fathers, whether it's to work, whether it's to be with our family, to spend time with them. Maybe it's to discipline our children when it's inconvenient for us when we're tired. Maybe it's being the guiding force, the leader of our family when it's tough, when we have to say no to something. Maybe it's a request from a spouse or something else that's occurring in our household that needs to change, and we need to confront that. That's carrying our cross. That's being a real Christian man, fully immersed in Calvary, carrying the cross all the way, not stopping, not being willing to stop. That means when we're struggling with sin, whether it be selfishness or pride or arrogance or anger or impurity, we carry our cross and are not willing to give in. All the way to Calvary. We say no to sin. Wherever it comes, from wherever it comes, whenever it comes, we say no to sin and we carry our cross. That's the tough call of being a Christian man these days. Too many of us are wimps. Too many of us just give in. Oh, well, I just can't help myself. I have a temper. Or my tongue just gets away with me and I can't help that I use foul language. It's just the way I am. Or I'm an addict. I can't help myself when it comes to pornography. It's just the way I am. And it's a lie. If Christ can carry that cross, we can carry our cross. Our crosses are nothing compared to what Christ carried. We can say no to that sin, and we have to. Our soul is at stake. Our families are at stake. When we give in to those sins, we pass that on, not only by our example, but we pass that on spiritually to our children. Are we willing to accept that sinfulness in our children or in our spouse? Most likely not. Nor should we accept it in ourselves. But too often as men today, we're too willing to play, to go and watch sports for hours and hours, without being willing to engage the realness of life. Because it's painful. It's hard to face the fact that we don't know enough about our faith to teach our children. Or maybe it's hard to face the fact that we're getting older and we can't run and actually play football or hockey or whatever sport it may be like we did when we were young. So now we sit on the couch and root on our favorite team. Maybe it's hard for us to face the fact that we're men and not boys. Real Christian manhood is lived out on a daily basis. The calling is Christ. The beautiful side of this is that it's a responsibility that comes with grace. And so as we embrace this call, grace is given. Peace starts to settle in a home where a real man is able to lead and takes that responsibility willingly, it gives peace to the spouse, to the children. It's like a good team that has an awesome coach that knows what players are right for each play, for each position, and for that particular game. That's the beautiful thing about being a true Christian man, is that your home, your life, everything will be more orderly, more at peace, and you'll be able to lead better. Your spouse will have more appreciation, more respect for you if you wield that scepter of kingly leadership in your home instead of sloughing off all the decisions onto your spouse. Think about it. If you're a manager or you're a boss at work, you're an employer, and you just sat in your office staring at your email, you would start to lose the respect of your employees. It's the same way with your spouse. If you can't gain the respect of your spouse by being a good, strong leader, they have to take that role on. You're sloughing it off. You're pushing it off on them so that they need to take that on now. That's more responsibility for them. So not only do they have their normal everyday responsibilities, but now the big decisions are in their lap. And how everything is going to run is in their lap. That's like handing your cross off to your spouse and saying, I'm too busy, or I'm too tired from work, it's your job now. That causes tension in the home. It's the same way if you're unwilling to engage your children in a way that's truly based in reality. Maybe you have to confront them on a certain sinful habit that they have. Or maybe you need to spend good quality time with them away from all kinds of media so that you can be real with them. So they can see what you're really like. And not just sit alongside you, but actually face-to-face engaging reality. They'll start to ask you questions. Dad, what do you think about Obama? Or what do you think about this or that? Because they want to learn from you, because now they respect you. You're not just seen as another kid in the family, the biggest boy. Now, as St. Augustine said, you're like a brother bishop. You have their full respect, and they want to learn from you. That's the beauty of being a true Christian man. That's the beauty of embracing this call, is that things will be better. Not that all of a sudden, I'm not promising anything like a prosperity gospel preacher. It's not like all of a sudden you're going to start to make all the money. All of a sudden your family's just going to click and everything's going to be cool. It's going to be tough, especially if you've been vacant from that position of leadership for a long time. It's going to be a really hard change for all involved. But it's such a good thing because it's the plan laid out by God. The Father has to embrace this role of priest, prophet, and king that has been bestowed upon him so that everything else can fall into line. It's your responsibility. It's what you have to do. And there's grace there for you to do it. God bless you.